'cause I'd love, love, love to dance with my father again.
And welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Strong.
And we'd love to, help you.
And improve your home and improve your life.
And just make, when, you get back to that space that you call home, that you feel relaxed and that it's attractive and it represents you and you're proud of it and all that good stuff.
I'm proud of my home now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Good.
Because my fresh hot water feature's going strong.
Your fresh hot water?
Fresh hot water
Fresh
feature.
hot water.
Yes. It's flowing like the Rio Grande.
I think it's because it's what Daddy wanted to do.
You know it. And what Dad wants, Dad rarely gets.
Can I tell you that my dad was so sweet, Lucky Chucky. He would come up with different holidays and excuses to get me things. And so he'd say, well, here, happy Arbor Day or happy whatever day. And on Father's Day, because he wanted to have a new stereo, it was my birthday and Father's Day combined. And so he'd say, well, here, happy Father's Day. Anyway, but
that's great.
You want to do things for Dad. And you're a dad. And you said that you have some good memories of doing things with your dad and projects.
Yes, I do. And I'll tell you, it's really sweet. With dads, I think that fathers respond and kids respond to their fathers by just doing stuff with them. And you don't have to say much, especially boys and their dads. I notice this with my sons. We don't really have to talk much as long as we just hang out together and do a project together. The essence of that man that is your dad shows up. And you really kind of see who that person really is with very few words. And I really encourage it for you dads out there to, give it a try and really do some quality, projects. Things like, for example, building a garden bed or creating a pond or, something that's really fun, or planting even a tree that you guys can watch grow together as father and son or father and daughter. It's just a great way to know who this guy, your dad, is. He's not just the guy that leaves in the morning and comes back and goes, "Where's my dinner?" I don't do that.
No, you don't. But I think that those are great memories that you always hold, near and dear to your heart. And I think that look at your fingers right now. They are covered in mud. They're
covered in, it's foam that you spray in the rocks in ponds to keep it from leaking. And I can't get it off. It looks like I've got.
Well, WD-40 would do that.
You know what? You're right. Seriously, I forgot all about it. You're right. I got it in the car.
You got to listen to Home Wizards.
Yeah, I'll do it.
We're talking about that. Yeah. But I will never forget some of the great moments of just doing home improvement projects with my dad. I mean, whether it was just hanging out in the garden and working on the weeds or planting, the different agaves that he would call, hey, this is something you can ram it and jam it. You just kind of, and to this day, we both love succulents. You put it in the yard and it's very easy.
That's right.
But those moments, I think, build confidence and you're sharing love.
Yep.
So what?
And you're also learning how to work, in a group and get along and. And, take your time and take your turn and all that good stuff. And if there's a common goal that's sort of at hand, I think it really makes your kids respond favorably. It's great.
So walk us through a raised garden bed, because there's some really pretty ones out there, and it would be a fun thing to do, I think, with Dad.
And first of all, I would love to do that, but there's a couple of things before that we got to talk about.
Sure.
Number one, nothing is going to be accomplished if it's not fun. So when you're doing these projects with your kids, it's got to have some entertainment value to it. And that can either be by playing music that they love or by having snacks that they love to eat. There's nothing worse than a little worker with low blood sugar. They go nuts and then everything goes to hell in a handbasket. So you want to make sure that everybody's hydrated. There's plenty of food. There's great music. It feels more free than when you're in normal working environments with your parents or in school.
So it doesn't feel like work.
It doesn't feel like work. It feels like a really fun
playtime.
thing. It's playtime.
It's
exactly.
Celebrating each other time.
And it's playtime with a purpose. And then the expectations of kids that are, say, below 10 should be minimal because they're going to lose their interest and, get distracted. And then kids that are 10 and up are going to be able to kind of hang in there for the duration of the project. So that's the prerequisite. As far as a garden bed goes, the reason I love these raised beds is because they're really easy to tend. You can almost pull a chair up to them because it's at a height that doesn't feel like you're on the ground on your knees. You can completely cover them with netting and keep birds from coming and eating your stone fruit, for example, which has been a problem with my tree, which is why I rarely even get one of my own peaches. So let's walk through this a little bit. You can do a raised bed that's about 8 feet by 10 feet for around $175 to $200. Pretty easy to do. Okay. So you're basically going to build like a rectangular box, and you're going to use 2x6s. You're going to use 2x4s to make legs, and then you're going to have PVC pipe in 4 corners running up about 6 feet, and that's what you're going to fasten your netting to, so that it'll be a completely enclosed cage of beautiful produce if this thing goes
So
well.
this netting is going to keep the critters away.
Keep the critters away, because the worst thing that'll happen when you grow these great vegetables, rabbits show up, and birds and
raccoons,
everything. And
the neighbors,
even the neighbor lady. Yeah, so it's kind of a great thing to think about, having the hardware cloth kind of encircling the entire structure. And then the other tip I want to tell you about is when you're buying all this soil, they sell it in bulk. You can get a big, it's called a skip of any of this material. So for example, if you were to buy 1.5 cubic yards of soil, it's going to cost you about $100 if you buy it in bags. But if you buy it in bulk, it's about $25.
So can anyone buy in bulk?
Anybody can buy in bulk at these places all around different cities across the country. They're the places that the guys and girls that do this for a living go to. The landscape guys go to.
But it isn't like to the trade only. Like if we drive
Absolutely
up,
not.
They won't say no. I'm not going to help you.
No way, absolutely not.
And what do we Google? What's it called? It's called
like soil or sod for sale, or
sod
services, or plant material, any of that kind of stuff.
Great. So there's not the markup. It's wholesale.
No, and the only caveat is that you have to have a pickup truck, or even if you were to rent a pickup truck and you were going to buy a bunch of materials, it might be worth it for you for the day if you get a great price.
If you're doing a big backyard project,
right?
So you're basically saving because they aren't doing the bagging and having all that.
And the packaging and all that stuff. So you're just getting the stuff in bulk, and then you can shovel it off the truck very easily into a wheelbarrow or just on the ground, and then transport it in 5-gallon buckets or containers.
And that's where the kids come in.
There you go. Cheap free
Child labor.
That's right. That's how we built the railroads, with children.
So they have dirt all over their faces.
Like poor little things.
A little peanut butter sandwich hanging out.
Keep working, prisoner. Yeah.
But boy, that sounds like a fun project.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty easy to do. So basically, you're just assembling a rectangle with legs on it, and then you can use either galvanized screws or nails if you're good with a hammer, and then you create this box essentially. Put your soil in, and if you want to get really fancy, you can do irrigation in it with PVC piping and all that good stuff, or you can just run a sprinkler on it or hose it every day if you want.
Who wants to do that?
Well, a lot of times people do, because nobody does actually, but some people like it because then you're really monitoring your growth, and you can really kind of prune and take
or at least in the early phases, right? Especially when they're little baby plants and they're so vulnerable.
I would recommend, though, the garden beds. I really like them because, again, you can sort of individualize your crops.
And you can watch the spacing, too.
That's exactly
I think a lot
right.
of times people crowd these zucchini or whatever your lettuce, and then it doesn't grow as well.
It really doesn't, yeah. So it's really nice to, and the kids love it, too, because it's easy to come and look at and watch all the little sprouts show up. And, before you know it, you got yourself some fresh hot yams and potatoes, some tomatoes. The whole 9 yards.
And homegrown tomatoes.
Oh, the other thing, too, is you want to orient it north and south, because that's going to give you the most amount of consistent sun all day. Most of these fruits and vegetables obviously love the sun.
So what you're saying is that we have to know directions.
A little
we have
bit.
to be able to.
Yeah. You want to look up when at nighttime, the sun is where? In the west.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's all you have to know. So, yeah, give that a try. And let us know, too, how this kind of a project comes off. We always like to hear feedback at yourhomewizards.com to see if you actually grew fresh vegetables, farm fresh, organic. That's the other thing, too. When you go to these soil places, you can buy organic soil, and I strongly suggest that you do that, because some of the, commercial grade stuff that's not for plants and vegetables can have some pretty creepy stuff in them. So
okay,
go for the organic soil.
Good pointer. Now, I also like the idea of creating a galvanized tin version of that. Have you seen that?
No.
Where basically you have, your old galvanized pots, and you can use that as your raised bed. So if all you have is a balcony, now you put a little drainage hole in the bottom, may already have it in there, but you can get those long cylindrical, shaped ones.
Almost like the tubs that you feed
yeah.
cattle
Yeah.
water from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Why
Yeah.
not make that as your raised bed?
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Why wouldn't?
Well, it's handsome is what
It's
it is.
very attractive, and it's space saving. I mean, it's not as ideal as having this great raised bed with all the room, but hey, if all you have is this little tiny corner.
You know what? You know what else I love about doing these raised beds or even the galvanized container? That soil you want to rotate every time you have a new crop. It's pretty easy to monitor too. If you're in that specific area, you can just dig all that stuff out and throw it in the rest of the garden on your property, and then replace it with some new stuff. $25 for new soil, that's nothing.
That isn't.
No,
That's great.
it's great.
Boy, so you're going to say that's our Father's Day present is a bunch of soil?
Here's your soil, Dad.
What about some great things that we can get, Dad, that you think would be cool in terms of for the home and for lifestyle, things that you've discovered?
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, any father is going to love a brand new set of tools. Anything, even if it's a cordless screw gun or if it's a beautiful hammer that's weighted, appropriately weighted, or a level, little level. No dad would feel like this is a waste of my time versus the ties that I always got my dad, or the bottle of Old Spice. Remember that?
Oh gosh.
Or
Yeah.
High Karate. I don't even think they make that anymore. But the commercial was that there were a bunch of crazy ladies chasing a guy because he had a fine scent on.
Yeah.
Give me a break. Come on.
I think that guys and dads especially want to have a sense of being a boy again, right? So get them some kind of a cool game, or maybe even get them like the classic Western movies
Yeah.
or war movies.
No
like,
question.
Like a DVD collection set of that.
Like
something-
great John Wayne
Yeah.
stuff would be great.
Yeah, some ways just to kind of bring back your childhood for Dad. I think that's
Right.
kind of a cool thing. And then also give them time. I used to do that a lot for my dad, where I would make little certificates or coupons that this is good for 2 hours of doing yard work, or I'll do the groceries.
A voucher, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
So some fun things. So anyway, go to yourhomewizards.com. We'll have all the ideas up there for you. And when we come back, we have some more fun things to talk about to help improve your home and improve your life. Home Wizards, Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. We're back in a flash.